With the launch of the iPad, some training modules are being given a facelift. ILX Group has recently set up in Australia and launched specific programs aimed at making training fun. For more on the technology and how it works, the Business Channel's Lisa Crefield spoke to Eddie Kilkelly, the Chief Operating Officer for ILX Group.
The ILX Group is the world's leading provider of project management and program management training, and we also specialise in IT management and financial management. And the way we've become the market leader in our field is by exploiting the use of technology. We're a software company at heart, but we apply our software into the learning sphere. And we've managed to grow quite exponentially over the last 10 years.
Can you take me through a couple of your apps?
We've managed to analyse what happens in the classroom, and we've taken some of the interesting bits that can help people to engage and learn and make learning an awful lot more fun. And the way we've delivered those applications is by revisiting old board games and turning those board games into exam simulators. So with a group of people or on your own or against a handful of other people, you can play something like a snakes and ladders game. And snakes and ladders only allows you to get up the ladder or only avoids falling down the snake if you get an exam question right. So it introduces a lot of competition, a lot of collaboration, and makes it fun while you're learning. We're already working on a couple of other board games, a variation on Trivial Pursuits and a variation on a card game which allows you to match concepts within project management by turning over the cards. So it's a memory test, but it's a memory test of what you've learned in a business training environment.
What growth are you seeing in the training technology market, and which sectors use it most?
It's fair to say that in our experience, there isn't any one sector that has become an early adopter of this type of learning. The adoption has been right across the spectrum, from financial, retail, manufacturing, construction. Some of the organisations we work with are big names like Virgin Media, KPMG, Thomson Reuters, HSBC, amongst others. And in addition, we're providing training to the UK Houses of Parliament right through to the Ministry of Defence. While the pure classroom training seems to be fairly flat, from our experience, technology-enabled training has allowed us to grow by 20% so far this year, and that's in perhaps one of the most challenging years in recent times.
Do you ever face resistance among more senior or older executives in terms of using game-style training applications?
No, in our experience, most of this lends itself to Generation Y. There's no doubt about that, and we're future-proofing our business to make sure that when people don't feel they need to go into the classroom, they've already got a solution available to them. But we find a lot of senior execs are quite taken by the idea because they read about it in the media, and it's not very often that people come along with a solution that actually lives up to the headlines in the media. And added to that, I think some senior execs quite like to practice in the comfort of their own office and not necessarily enter the classroom. So a learning solution really lends itself well to that.
What are the latest training trends? How much are mobile devices being used?
Hugely. There are certain pockets of the training industry that has adopted e-learning and technology solutions for quite some time, but tend to be quite dry. The real trick is finding out how to use the technology that is coming into business from outside rather than going outside of business from within. So a few years ago, we'd take our laptops home and try and find out what we could do with them at home. But now we've all got mobile phones, and we're sitting on the trains playing with them, and we're wondering what we can do and how we can learn and how we can make best use of our time. So there's an incredible appetite for apps on the Apple Store and other forms of technology, including YouTube videos, audio files, and downloads that you can use to learn in any place.
Do you have any specific case studies?
My favourite case study at the moment is a major international mining company, drilling and mining company called KCA Deutag, and they adopted our project management learning and our snakes and ladders application about 3 or 4 months ago, with the intention of rolling it out worldwide to around 200 project managers. They anticipated that this training program could take them many years. On the first day, 78% of people signed up to take the training, and it's now live in 22 countries. So it's an incredible success story about how you can reach a massive target audience, speaking different languages in different places with technology.
How challenging is it adapting your products for different markets?
The biggest challenge is establishing the demand. So once you can find the demand, then it becomes more of a commercial opportunity. And when you have the commercial opportunity, really it's a case of translation. It's very simple, translation of business language into the local language. Because all of our applications and training programs lead to formal qualifications, we have to make sure that the accrediting bodies have written the formal qualification and examination in the local language. So once they've done that, and we tend to work in collaboration with them, we simply revisit the application, change the words, change the audio, maybe a few diagrams and a few local images.
What about having to cope with different devices and operating systems?
I think that's always a challenge, to be honest. Things will get smaller, things will get quicker, and things will get further afield. But I really believe that the challenge is understanding what's going to replace Twitter, understanding what's going to replace the iPhone and the iPad. So what is the next generation? Because the next generation is going to come to us, and if we're lucky, we'll pick it up early. We've established an innovations team at the ILX group because we've recognised that the quicker we grow and the more successful we become, the more it becomes about production lines and profit and margins and channels to market, when actually the heart of the business is in finding new ideas and taking them into the classroom or taking them onto mobile devices so that people can learn more effectively. And a lot of those ideas are coming from Generation Y, teenagers and school children who know what they use and will expect to be able to use those tools and techniques in the future.